3 weeks ago, my parents sent me a message that ended everything. Don't come to the anniversary party. Only high society guests are invited. Not busy. Not maybe next time. Just, don't come. I wish I could say I was shocked. But I wasn't. When you've spent 10 years being treated like an afterthought, you stop expecting anything different. No family photos for a decade. No real introductions. Just this. This is Colette. She works with old buildings. That's how my mother described me. Not architect. Not preservation specialist. Just something with old houses. My name is Colette Owens. I'm 32. And for 10 years, I've been invisible in my own family. That night, I stayed home, just like they wanted. No party. No confrontation. Just silence. Then my phone rang. My sister. She never calls unless she needs something. Her voice was shaking. Why didn't you tell us? Tell you what? I asked. Mom and Dad just saw the news. Everyone's talking about you. I leaned back in my chair, confused. I didn't hide anything, I said. I just stopped explaining myself to people who never listen. There was a pause. Then she said something that made everything clear. This is embarrassing for the family. Not are you okay? Not we're proud of you. Just embarrassment. That's when I realized something. This wasn't about misunderstanding. This was intentional. But to understand why, you have to go back 3 years. To the moment everything started changing. Without them even noticing. I grew up just outside Boston. A family that looked perfect on the outside. Country club memberships. Holiday cards. Carefully curated lives. My sister. Perfect. Married rich. Social. Admired. Me. I chose architecture. Not the glamorous kind. The kind where you crawl through dust. Fight to save history. And restore what others want to destroy. My father once told me, when you get a real career, we'll talk about putting you back on the Christmas card. Back on. Like I had been removed. And the truth. I had. What happens when the person your family erased becomes the reason everyone starts asking about you? 3 years ago, I got a call that changed everything. A historic estate, 150 years old, was about to be demolished. Developers wanted the land. The city had given up. Even the preservation board had stopped fighting. But one organization wasn't ready to let it go. They needed someone who could prove the building was worth saving. Not just structurally, but historically, emotionally. They called me. At the time, I wasn't famous. Not well known. Not even someone my own family respected. But I understood something others didn't. Old buildings aren't just walls. They're stories. And if you erase them, you erase everything that came before. So I said yes. For weeks, I prepared. Digging through archives. Studying original blueprints. Tracking every change made over a century. When I presented my plan, I didn't just show restoration. I showed meaning. And somehow, they believed me. A $12 million restoration was approved. Because of my work. For the next 18 months. That building became my entire world. I chose every detail. Every material. Every restoration method. I spent months restoring the front doors alone. Hand sanding wood that hadn't been touched in decades. Finding original hardware no one else could source. Piece by piece. I brought that place back to life. And the whole time, my family had no idea. Not because I hid it. Because they never asked. I worked under my firm's name. Quietly. Without attention. Without recognition. And honestly, I preferred it that way. Because I had already learned something important. Trying to impress people who decided not to see you is a losing game. So I stopped trying. But life has a strange sense of timing. Because out of all the venues in Massachusetts, out of every luxury location they could choose, my parents picked that exact estate. For their anniversary party. The building I saved. The doors I restored. The place that existed. Because I refused to let it disappear. And they invited everyone. Everyone. Except me. What happens when the place your family celebrates in exists only because of you? And they don't even know it. 1 week before the party, my sister called. She never calls. Not unless she wants something. Her voice was soft. Careful. I tried to convince them to invite you, she said. But you know how mom is, appearances matter. I said nothing. Because I knew this wasn't kindness. This was performance. Then she added. Honestly, you wouldn't fit in anyway. Those people, it's not really your world. Not my world. Funny. Because the building they were celebrating in was built by mine. Then she asked the real question. So, what have you been up to lately? Fishing. Looking for something she could repeat at the party. Something small. Something safe. Just work, I said. Nothing special. And just like that, she lost interest. A few days later, my father called. Not to invite me. To confirm I wouldn't come. The guest list is final, he said. Important people will be there. Then he added something I'll never forget. If you had chosen a real career, we wouldn't be having this conversation. A real career. After everything I had built. I almost laughed. Then he mentioned a name. Margaret Caldwell. My mentor. The woman who approved my project. The same woman who believed in me. Before anyone else did. He wanted to impress her. At a party. In a building. I restored. And still. He told me not to come. But the worst part came 2 days before the event. A message from my aunt. Your mom told me you've been struggling. That you're not doing well mentally. I froze. Then I checked online. There it was. Comments. Sympathy. Concern. People sending prayers. For a life I wasn't living. My mother had created a story. A version of me that explained my absence. Not successful. Not independent. Not thriving. Broken. And suddenly everything made sense. They didn't just ignore me. They replaced me. With a version that fit their image. But lies have one weakness. They only work. Until the truth shows up. And the truth was about to arrive. On the exact same night as their party. What happens when the story your family tells about you gets destroyed in front of everyone they tried to impress? The party started at 6 o'clock. 150 guests. Champagne. Music. Perfect lighting. Everything looked flawless. My parents stood at the center of it all. Smiling. Hosting. Pretending everything was exactly how they wanted it. Until 7:30. That's when the announcement went live. An article. A headline. My name. Colette Owens, one of the most important architects of her generation. At first, it was quiet. One guest reading. Then another. Phones coming out. Whispers spreading. Wait, isn't that their daughter? My parents tried to brush it off. Must be someone else. But the details didn't lie. Boston. Architecture. The exact building they were standing in. Then someone read my quote out loud. I stopped trying to be seen, and let my work speak instead. The room went silent. Because suddenly, everything didn't add up. The daughter who struggled was the one who built the entire room around them. Then Margaret stepped forward. Calm. Clear. Certain. She restored this entire estate, she said. Every detail you see tonight exists because of her. And just like that, the truth took over the room. No more whispers. No more doubt. Just reality. My mother couldn't speak. My father had no explanation. My sister had nothing left to say. And then, I walked in. Not rushed. Not angry. Not desperate. Just present. The room parted. Eyes turned. And for the first time in my life, no one ignored me. I know I wasn't invited, I said. But this building is my work. No one interrupted. No one laughed. Because this time, they couldn't. I wasn't asking for approval. I wasn't proving anything. I was just standing there, as the person they refused to see. And that was enough. I didn't stay long. I didn't need to. Because the moment had already happened. They didn't discover me that night. They realized. They had been wrong all along. You don't need an invitation to stand in a place you built yourself.